Hallo, guten Abend, good evening. Welcome to our third day of International Summer School, Hochschule für Musik Saar. Our guest Good evening again. Welcome to our third day of our International Summer School in Saarbrücken, Germany, Hochschule für Musik Saar. Our guest teacher, guest conductor of today is Bernie Sherlock from Ireland, Dublin. Her very famous New Dublin Voices Choir, you might know. I'm happy to have you here. Good evening, Bernie. And that's all what I have to say. Good luck and a lot of fun together.
Thank you, Georg. Can you hear me? I'm
yes.
Taking that as a yes. I'm absolutely thrilled to be asked to do this a second time, and I feel like I'm in very exalted company with Georg, Gary Graydon, and Brady Allred. So this is a great honour for me, and I'm delighted to introduce you to an Irish piece, and I'm delighted to work with some of your conductors. So I'm going to share my screen. My first page, yes. Moving on, so Sean Doherty is one of our younger generation composers. We're not really a nation that's well renowned for choral music, but we have some younger composers up and coming who are making their mark, and Sean Doherty is one of those, especially in the choral world. Sean was born in the north of Ireland, city of Derry. He played the fiddle a lot as a child, and he had a very important experience singing the Rufflé Requiem, which maybe directed him towards choral music. He got his music degree from the University of Cambridge and then a PhD from Trinity College Dublin. At the moment, he's a full-time assistant professor in Dublin City University, where work. Is everything okay? Oh, I'm so sorry. Give me a second. And thank you for not waiting for too long. So there you go. So he leads a master's in choral studies in this Dublin City University. And he's won a number of choral competitions, including one in England, the Choir and Organ magazine competition. He's won a prize at the Béla Bartók choral competition in Hungary and Florilège Vocal Tour. Sean has been commissioned by some fairly interesting choirs, including the World Youth Choir, Choir of Clare College, Cambridge, the National Youth Choir of Scotland, and the National Youth Choir of Ireland, the Irish Youth Choir. Stellenbosch University Choir, which is the one that gets him the most hits on YouTube, I promise you. New Dublin Voices, my choir, and then Ex Cathedra, another English choir. And he's recently been commissioned by the Turkish State Choir, which is a professional choir, the World Youth Choir, and the Irish Youth Choir, both last year and this year. Sean is a member of New Dublin Voices, my choir, and I just thought it would be nice to put this picture up because Sean, well, he's a great, great guy. He's highly intelligent. He can talk about anything. And he's also a really funny guy, got a great sense of humor, so his company is excellent. And when we travel with him, we have the best time. And we spent some time back in June recording the first CD that's devoted to choral music. It's not all his choral pieces because there are more than what we recorded, but we're delighted to have recorded that back in the summer. It's not out yet. We have a new publisher in Ireland called Colino Music Publishers, or Colino Publications, and they have choral music is their specialty, I suppose, and they have taken up Sean and published a number of his pieces already: Time, Epiphany, The Destroyer, This Endless Night, Undersong, Snow Dance for the Dead, It's Strange About Stars, Blessed Be That Maid Marie, and A Newer Work. So that's how you get his scores, Colino Music Publications. Yeah, that's the full list of them there, but that's fine. It just shows you, when you go to Colino, this is what you find when you Google Sean. Just to give you an example of another piece, this is, I suppose, one of his most renowned. It's called Snow Dance for the Dead. It was commissioned by the World Choral Symposium in Barcelona, and we premiered it there in 2017. The words are by the same poet as the poet of It's Strange About Stars, Lola Ridge. And he composed this for the centenary of the Russian October Revolution. And it's a really dramatic piece. One of the most characteristic features of it is this natsokal, which is a word that imitates the sound of cocking of a gun, holding a gun, and natso, and then kal is the shot coming out of it. And so there were the guns as used by the Cheka in those 4 years of the Russian Civil War. And they became known as the Red Terror, and as we know, killed at least 100,000 ordinary, innocent people. Sean's piece requires this movement with the hand and the shooting and lifting up snow in the hand, so it's quite physical. And some of the feedback we've received, these are words people have said to us: harrowing, moving, thought-provoking, powerful. And a number of choirs are now performing this piece, which is wonderful. Most recently, the Stellenbosch Choir from South Africa, and as I say to you, their hits on YouTube are huge. They're probably 50, 60, 70,000 now. But also choirs in Japan, Wales, Spain, several choirs in Spain, and the USA. We shared a concert with an American choir a few months ago, and they premiered it in the USA, and they had to stop in the middle of it because people were so upset because of, obviously, the things that are happening in their own country now. Well, it's just to introduce you to another piece of Sean's before we have a look at this piece you're looking at. It's Strange About Stars. So Sean Doherty and Lola Ridge, he was living in an area in the centre of Dublin when he was searching through anthologies, looking for interesting poets, and he found this obscure Irish poet, 1873 to 1941, called Lola Ridge, and discovered that, when he was delighted to discover she lived near where he was living, but then he discovered she was radical, anarchist, modernist, feminist, which, as you can imagine, would be quite unusual for the early 20th century. So he explored her more and found that she had left Ireland when she was 3. So she lived in Ireland just until she was about 3. Her father died. Her mother brought her to Australia. Then they moved to New Zealand. She married in New Zealand, had 2 sons, 1 died. She had been starting writing poems from a young age, but it was only now that she became earnest about it and it began to be published. But she had quite an interesting life. She up and left her husband to go to study painting, first of all. She left New Zealand, went back to Australia to study painting. And then when her mother died, her mother had been minding her child. She took the child and went to San Francisco. But in San Francisco, she saw the brighter shining lights of New York. So she left her 8-year-old child in an orphanage and off she went to New York, where she had a whole new life, calling herself Lola Ridge, and asserting she was 10 years younger than she actually was. She lived a very rough and ready life there, very impoverished. She had no money. She worked as a factory worker, but she was devoted to all kinds of political activation, gay rights, women's rights, rights of immigrants. So this poem, It's Strange About Stars, is taken from a longer poem called Sun Up that she wrote in 1920. And basically, this is the opposite side of her life. Most of her life is looking at political things, and this is looking at the more sort of impressionistic and sentimental side of things, although this poem itself is not sentimental. There are some passages in it that are. A lot of it is warm, but she does, if you ever decide to read that poem, there are some fairly hard-hitting things in it. She's writing it from the angle of a child. And just before the lines that Sean uses for this poem, she, as the poet, reflects on the way adults suppress their feelings, the way they hide inside themselves, and they don't notice the wonder of the stars. So that's very much Sean's angle in this piece, noticing the wonder of the stars. I'm just going to read out the poem. It's strange about stars. You have to be still when they look at you. They push your song inside of you with their song. Their long, silvery rays sink into you and do not hurt. It is good to feel them resting on you like great white birds. And their shining whiteness doesn't burn like the sun. It washes all over you and makes you feel cleaner than water. In the poem, it's cleaner in water than water. I should have put the square brackets in there. Sean's own comments on the piece: this is a gentle meditative piece in which the repetitions of the opening words, "It's strange about stars," encourage a reflection on their meaning. Lola Ridge makes the stars seem strange indeed. She personifies them, not as the gods of antiquity, but as curious and benevolent singers from distant galaxies. The words begin to dissolve into the sibilant sounds of waves. Wash, yes? When the poet reaches the words, it washes all over you and makes you feel cleaner than water. Itself a strange baptismal image, but one that captures perfectly the feeling that we gain when we consider the immensity and majesty of infinite space and are taken far above mundane concerns of day-to-day life. Exactly what Lola Ridge was getting at. We adults, we sometimes don't stop to smell the roses. We miss some of the best things that are happening. And his poem is really honing in on this idea of understanding, accepting, appreciating space, life, infinite humanity, not our day-to-day goings on. Last year, I watched what Brady already did, and he presented his beautiful arch on graph paper, which I like very much. Mine is simpler. I just put the bar lines in, and this is just, I suppose, not so much for the singers of you, but for the conductors that we have to prepare our scores, and these are just some of the ways I look into the score. I like to get an idea of what the overall structure is. And so you can see I have the little phrases there into the bigger ones. There's the full A section there, which would be 24 bars, I suppose, but I think the opening is like an introduction. But none of this is set in stone. This is just the way I think. If somebody might say, no, that's not an introduction, this is just an A section. The B section in the middle, where we've changes of keys and it becomes quite dramatic, the climax, and then coming back again with it washes to the opening idea again, and then finishing off with It's Strange About Stars, linking in with the opening part. So I don't know if you can see this. Can anybody give me a thumbs up if this is clear or it's too small? You can see it. So just, for me, I like to get the text in there as well. So this is, it's just a little bit more detail from the other graph where I put out the text, I say, yes. So you see at the beginning here, for example, you've got this, It's Strange About Stars. A second time, It's Strange About Stars. A third time, It's Strange About Stars, About Stars, About Stars. So repetition of that. And with each one to kind of mark out what the dynamic shapings are, and that this is the first time a soloist comes in and the soprano soloist comes in forte. Then you move to the real, I mean, that's what I call the intro. Can you see my cursor? Yes? Yes? You can see this doing circles wildly? Yes. That's a yes, is it?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. So then this, the fuller section here. Now I know this is a bit strange to look at without the score, but if I can send this as a PDF to Georg if he wants to send it on to any of the conductors if you're interested in it. It is interesting how you go through a score and you sometimes think, well, which section is this? And I had that issue with exactly bar 24 because it's the end of one section, also the beginning of the next section. And also bar 33 where there's a pause. There are three changes of key, really. It's mostly in G, with G as a tonal center, moves to D in this area here. We'll have a look at the score in a second, and that might make more sense. I don't want to talk too long because I know there are 4 of you who have to conduct. So I think I will actually stop this share and just have a look at the score. Give me 1 second. Lots of interesting percussive sounds. Okay, I'm hoping you can see that score. So I I approach different scores differently. With this one, because I'm sure Georg is interested in this piece because the chords are so jazzy. Like if the very first chord would be a G major chord, but what Sean has written is this. Much more interesting, much more colourful than G major. I'm sorry, this looks very large because I did it on an iPad, so the writing was very small on that, but it looks very large here. So, da, da, da. Same thing. And actually, I'll tell you a very quick story. It's Georg's fault that my son, my 18-year-old son, is now studying in Berkeley College in the States. He's studying jazz, basically. It's Georg's fault because of that piece, Veni Sancte Spiritu. He spent nearly a year of playing nothing else on the piano except that and taking an interest in all those gorgeous jazz chords. So here we are now, and with this nice piece by Sean. So often I would analyze a piece functionally, as in where's the dominant, where's the a dominant function, a subdominant function. But with this, I just, because I like the color of the chords so much, I just went through it and exploring them and in taking interest in where, for example, the 9th and the 7th are in the chords. So we know sometimes chords are unbalanced, and as conductors, that's what we have to do. We have to help figure out which are the stronger, more important notes, which is just a little slight flavor, or which is quite strong. So just going through this, I found that Sean uses hardly any root position chords. I think only one, the C major chord, and very few, like you can see here, there's a G7. And there's almost always 11th, 9th, 7th, sometimes 13th. Sometimes there's no third, but that apparently is very typical in jazz. Georg, you could help on that. If I just scroll on to, this must be an older score because I thought I had put a mark where you have the major chords. I just wanted to scroll into the middle section. So they push your song inside of you. With their song, and then again, It's Strange About Stars. Their long, silvery rays, there's my mark for just simple old triads with no extra interesting colors. There aren't very many of them. So here, there's a kind of a move to D major. I am interested in that because I always try to feel if a piece is tonal, where the tonal center is. And that this one here, this solo in the alto, that D feels to me like a tonal center. And this is then the middle contrasting section. It is good to feel them. So he's got a motor bit. It is good to feel them, and then back a tempo. So this whole section really builds up to the fortissimo of the piece and their shining, which I think is, to me, is in A major. So still all the same interesting chords within A major. So this is very expansive, shining, whiteness, doesn't burn like and then sun, he gives that a forte piano, so it goes back, and how he colors this chord with the tritone in the basis. It's a kind of a harsh chord, isn't it? And then the choir needs to come back from that, and then it becomes bigger and more expansive. And then after that, he returns to the opening again with, just like It's Strange About Stars, it washes over you 3 times, and makes you feel cleaner than water. I'd call that a G chord, but it's not a G, as you can see. It has an A in there. And then we come to the coda. It's Strange About Stars. So we've had this really beautiful It Washes Over You section where he asks the sopranos to go into washes all over you, but everybody else goes wash. And then the coda, the last iterations of It's Strange About Stars. And again, he doesn't, of course, when we were recording this, somebody who was involved in the recording process said, Sean, would you not go to a G major chord in the last bar? You just go to a G major chord there. Wouldn't that be really nice, calm? And Sean just said, absolutely no, because his idea of this piece, the strange about stars, it's not an unpleasant strange, it's a magical strange. And therefore, to have the whole piece constructed on all these gorgeous, colourful jazzy chords and then to go and end on a G major would, I think, be actually strange in a bad sense. So I love that he stuck to his guns. Sometimes things change when you're recording. That's just a bird's eye view of the piece from my angle. I hope some of it was interesting to you. And now bring on the conductors.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. What's your
Perfect.
name?
My name is Sonia. Nice to meet
Sonia.
you. Yes.
Nice to meet you too, Sonia. Are you going to go from the beginning, yeah?
Yes, I'd love to.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Sonia. Thank you. That's great. That gives us plenty to work on. Very nice. I love your nice round, calm, open gesture. That's very good. So some of the things we can be a little bit more particular on. Firstly, dynamics, that we start nice and gentle and that each one strange has a little growth and then it comes back down again. So we can be a little bit more particular about that. You can ask the singers for more from that. And one other little thing is you do become very big quite early. So I would hold back until like bar 5, you're still mezzo piano. And if you think of the fortissimo we're coming to later, that's when you're going to really use your expansiveness. Do you understand?
Yeah, totally.
So hold it back a little bit here. I like that you moved it on. I like the Chalarando. I think it worked really well. But the twos, the 3 in the time of twos are not good from the choir. So I don't know how, I mean, that has to be fixed because that's it. Sean does a lot of that. So maybe we'll work on dynamics first and then talk about that, whether you want to just say to the choir, fix it, and hope they'll fix it, or whether, I don't know, because I haven't heard the choir singing before, or whether they need you to get stuck into how to actually fix that. It's a kind of a pedagogical thing that we all need to be able to do, because God knows most choirs have problems with it, really. But what happens is it just became quite general. I'm talking too much. So let's go back to the beginning and have you start. And very gentle, and I think all your movements, keep them all within a smaller frame for this opening, because you have the same, in the first two, it's the same thing. It's just pianissimo to piano and back again, yeah?
Okay.
thank you, Sonia. That was very nice. I like that a lot more. It was more contained. It sounds to me, but then I'm just at the end of the Zoom camera. It sounds to me like the choir is quite loud. How does it sound for you? That might be just where I am.
Actually, maybe it could start a little less loud, più pianissimo. Is it possible? A little less? We could try.
Just sing the first note, the first unison G, and then the first chord.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we can make it one time just with the very first word, like Perfect. And now we take the lyrics on it, but not louder, just the right.
Very good.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Somebody is not on the right one there, but that's okay. And very nice. And they responded very well to you that time. That was. I think that sounds like the right dynamic to me. Very still, very calm. Okay. Two little things there, just for the singers as well. Be careful with "it's strange" because it can sound like "it's strange." It strange. It's a strange. There has to be a little bit it's in there to get that, so it's clear that you're not just saying I'm from France and here's my English. It's strange. You know, it's strange. Try to get the S in there.
Okay, I think that was my fault because I said they should combine it and say it's strange. But you really do it's strange. Two S's then.
Yeah, well, it's like we kill ourselves to try to get the German right, you know, all the glottals and everything. It's very, very hard for us. But the ear will hear it's strange if you don't do it's strange.
Okay.
It's strange.
So we do two S's.
Yeah, it's very small. I'm exaggerating now. It's a strange, like it's a strange. So it's much smaller than that. Okay, and this getting crescendo is very, very nice. What you're doing, it got a little bit too big sometimes because you were still stars. You were still getting big where you want to be starting to bring it down on the stars. Yeah, but that's really nice now. I don't think we need to do that again. And can we have a look at bar 7? What's your plan there? Because really, the soloist has to have this, has to slide and arrive on the G when the choir starts there. So I think they need a little bit more help there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I should be more in a connection with the soloist and get the moment you go down and, okay. Mm-hmm.
I think you should plan because is when it arrives on the G is when the S starts. So you could do something like, for example, sit on the strange for 2 beats. 1, I'm just making it metrical now, but you don't have to do that. I'm just saying this would be an example. So 1, 2, slide about. Decide you're going to hold about stars.
Okay,
but
yeah.
do you want to hear which you want to do on that? I have my own way of doing it, but I'm happy for you to. It's just that what I want to hear is the choir starting their stars when, and it's very soft, but when the soloist arrives down to the G.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. So maybe we try the counting, then we do like two beats and then you go down.
Das heißt, ich entscheide, it means I decide when I'm starting to slide, or you're showing it to me.
I think if you decide it's harder for Sonia to have the choir with her, okay? If a choir knows each other really well, that can happen, but I think she needs to, you need to make a plan. How long would you like to sit on that C? I'd like to sit in it for 3 beats in total, or 3.5 or whatever. And so as long as all you need to show the soloist the move to the slide. And the slide is on, the G is on the 3rd beat. So 1, 2, 3. So it could be hold for a long 1. Sonia, hold for a long 1.
Yeah.
And it's going from 2 to 3, that's the slide.
So
Can you
like,
try that?
That's the fermata, and then I give the slide and the...
Well, no, because there's nothing really happening on the 2. It's from the 2. Hold for a while, then it's the 2 to the 3, that's the slide, yeah?
Okay.
And then the choir goes they're with you on the 3rd beat. They know you're holding a long 1 and you're pausing on the 1.
Okay, can I try? With the
Yeah.
choir? Okay, perfect. Directly the fermata, please. That's bar 7. Aha, I'm sorry. Can I do again?
I need a 2. So
You need a 2
start
for when you start?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
because then I don't know. when
Okay,
to
okay, sorry.
Thank you. You see, the singers explain very well. That's because that's what your soloist needs. She needs to know where's your 2 to 3. She doesn't mind how long you're going to sit on that 1, but
Yeah.
just.
Okay, but I have one more question. If I already show the way to this to the bar 3, no, not the bar, the beat 3. Thank you. Then the choir has to go decrescendo already down in the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're decrescendoing as they sing stars. They have to start decrescendoing once they get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we start with the decrescendo already. The moment we enter the tone. Like that?
Yes, and also I can't hear the end of the soloist stars, so you might need to help her on that. How long do you want her to sit on that note, or just ask her to enunciate the S of stars, southern star. That's what I heard, but again, that could be Zoom. Look, that's fine. That's much better. I think you probably need to think about a gesture to show the slide a little bit more obviously.
Yeah.
So that I think the soloist followed you and the choir followed you well. So let's have a look at this 3 against 2. So, I mean, you would normally have 4 crotchets in that bar, right? But in the first half, you have 3 instead of 2. So how do you think if you tell the choir to do this properly, they'll do it, or do you think you need to help them? And do you have a suggestion?
Are you talking about bar 10? Or which bar?
Like bar 9.
Bar 9. How they should work on the trioli, or what is
Well,
that?
it's just
Sorry.
at the moment there are 3 in the time of 2. 3
Yeah.
notes in the time of 2
Yeah.
is not. They're not all sure what they're doing.
Yeah. I think the first way you could think is just to feel it, how we're coming to the B3. So if you think you have to be still when they look, and if you don't think of math and anything, just about the lyrics and how it's going on with the flowing, maybe it works or helps. Could we try that? Lady choir, bar 9 with upbeat.
Good, and much better in bar 9 and then bar 10. I mean, it's not something for us to work on now, really, because it would need you to find a way, and the only way I have found in my life is to have singers feel 3 in a crotchet.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
2, 3, you, ha, 2, be, stay, where, they. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
actually,
that bar is easier than bar 10. Bar 10 is harder because tenors and basses are not on the crotchet; they're on the half bar. But anyway, that's something else. That's something else that you can work on another time. Let's go on to They Push Your Song, and maybe because now we've done the triplets quite well, maybe they'll be okay in 15.
Yeah, maybe.
So they push into bar 13, yeah?
Okay, so we take tutti bar 13 with upbeat, please. 13. Can we try one more time and come together on the in side, in, on the for and. 4 und dies nicht zusammen. One more time, please. Still not together. One more time. I try to do it better.
You're a little bit behind. They're a little bit behind you.
Yeah.
Keep this down. This is still piano, just a mezzo piano.
Okay.
You've got mezzo for your next bar, so keep it a little bit more.
Okay, yes. One more time, please.
Sonia, good, very nice, and you're helping them more now with the 3 against 2. You're showing it more with your body, so it's easier for the singers to get it. This is a big. Sorry, did somebody say something?
No.
This is a big moment, the shining. So no stress. You're smiling very well, but make sure that because it's a glorious moment. It's not a hard moment. It's glorious. A major. And the arrival at that key. So don't be too strident about it.
Did I look too hard, or what was?
Well, it's fleeting moments.
Okay.
So, everything is open. This is big. It's open and big. So when you get to the sun,
yeah,
you went down very low. I don't know if that was your plan, with your hands very low, but. I love this idea of a beat plane, of that being where we are mostly, and that we try to feel that kind of a solid place here. So when we go down further, I don't know if it's as useful, because this is just forte piano to fortissimo. It's not, quadruple fortissimo going from pianissimo. I think that would be better. Burn like the sun. Can you just show me your gesture for that forte piano?
What I did right now?
Context. No, maybe, well, what you feel is right.
Okay, with choir or without choir?
No, with choir, just
okay,
you.
Just me, okay. I think I'd do something like that. Sun.
Yes, that's better. When you look back at your video, you'll see how low you went down.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's wrong to go low at all. It's just that because it's very dramatic, because he's written the chord in an interesting way, but it's still only forte piano. Very good work. Okay, now the soloist, I know we have to end. Just one little thing. In 22 to 23, you have the alto soloist, and he or she, depending on what you have, will need a little bit of a help with that. I think you just let it happen, but then it sounded kind of uncertain. But all these places, because they're big moments, and it's nice that it has the moments for a soloist to shine.
Yeah, I think it was very concentrated on the choir, yeah. Sorry, Levy.
Okay, great work, Sonia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I'm Fabian. Nice to meet you.
Fabian. Nice to meet you too, Fabian.
So shall I start? Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, would you like to go from "It is good to feel them resting"? Or you can decide. I don't mind. If you want to go from the beginning, do.
I can go from it is good to feel them resting.
Okay.
Yes. 24.
Good, Fabian, thank you. Sorry to stop you in the middle of something. Very nice. Let me see if I can remember some of the things I was going to say. You tend to cross your arms a little
Yes.
bit. I think it's better to give each hand its own little world. Your son, just when you got to it there, I'd say you don't need to beat at all. The choir doesn't need to know the length of the note.
Okay.
So just show it. I think you're intending to beat a little bit more there. And shining. I think as you start this passage, show us more in your face what's about to happen. This is our contrasting middle passage.
Yes.
And it's a nice positive thing. It's good to feel them resting. It's good. It's an all nice thing there. And then, of course, it becomes very big and colourful. So can you go back again to it is good?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. One other thing. I think you're quite slow for this.
Yes,
So
sorry.
this is,
That's what, yes.
tempo, like 60 would be more like this. So just maybe don't let it, we can all be indulgent, you know? But you have got that great molto rate just before that. And it's not that it needs to be at 60. Nothing ever needs to be exactly at a metronome marking. But
Okay.
it just said to me that it needs to move a little bit more.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
So back again.
Sorry, it was the first. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Because I guess
Yes.
throughout the tune, some people have gone on strike, which is fair enough. Singers do that, and they're objecting. Good work. Couple of little things. So let's go back to, and it's good to feel them shining. Why not have a little smile on your face?
Yes.
I'm.
I'm thinking about sopranos on the A, and I feel with them, but maybe it's good to shine as well.
Yeah, well, you sometimes have to fake that you're really shining yourself if you're thinking, oh, those sopranos, I need to fix this, because, you know, we want to fix everything. But it is the biggest moment, it's the climax of the piece.
Yes, yes.
So when you can stop and then say, okay, well, sopranos, let's fix this. I still think you're a bit on the slow side because, especially because it goes back to the A section and that's back at 50, whereas yours a little bit too similar. So I think you can move that on ever so slightly more. I think it'll fit very well with music. Interestingly enough, I think now, like in bar 31, where you have the 3 against 2, it has happened a couple of times because you're helping now, because Sonia was helping, she helped more, and now you're helping, and now it's maybe becoming a little bit too much because it's almost forceful, so it still has to be burn, long, it's not burn, long,
okay.
Do you know?
Okay, yes.
So we have to be careful as conductors that, and we do this, we overdo things because we are looking for an effect, and we overbeat if fire isn't with us. So just be careful in getting the beautiful, gentle sound of that it isn't too much. It washes all over you. Again, compared with the opening, what's the difference now?
It's a different text, and of course we heard already everything, and then it's like the calm surrounding after all this explanation. What is strange about the stars?
Good, and also now Wash is asking for louder dynamic, right? It's going to mezzo forte.
Yes.
I think look for the choir when you sing Wash, it's not shh. I know it goes to crescendo there, but he really doesn't want to be. Let's say, for example, you're in the Wash. He doesn't want it to be very harsh, and I'm sure that sounds very harsh on Zoom. So just make that a little bit more gentle. Sopranos have that move to the mezzo forte in the melody, so they will take care of that. And then to fade away to a beautiful vowel on the U. Can you go again from it washes all over you?
Can I just have from alto downwards to have this separately? That was
excellent.
33. It was just alto. Again, same place.
So Fabian,
yes.
I think because like these are great times when you get the chance to stand up and conduct singers and have somebody else other people comment on you, because you've been doing this all week, so I'm just a little blip at the end or whatever. I think it's a good opportunity for you to really use your independence in your hands. So rather than have the left hand mirror the right hand, maybe the left hand do something more. There's a wonderful German conductor, Gerhard Marxen his name, and he had this thing of the petals of a flower opening, and that's something he used for that. Or your hand just coming a little bit higher, or something that make it as a double thing for you, that you develop your independence as well as showing this. Yeah? So will you have a go at that again and see if you can have the left hand. Of course the left hand is not independent, it's in the same atmosphere and the same dynamic, etc. But just see if you can use a different gesture.
Okay.
Good. Yes, I like that, and that's good to experiment. The first one was excellent, and then you went a little bit, as you did the second and third, you went more back towards the right, but it still worked, and they're following you. They're too loud on wash, okay? So can you fix that?
Also, okay, it doesn't
especially
sound...
when,
Yes.
especially in like 38. To me, and again, it could be my ears on this Zoom thing, but it sounded like it had nowhere to go. It should be starting from piano in 38. Yeah?
Okay, so the piano was too loud.
I'd go back again to
Yes.
34, please.
Yes, 34.
Good. David, let's have the sopranos back in. Yeah.
Yes, okay, sorry.
We're
Sopranos.
missing them. And I think as far as
Jawohl.
they need a little bit more help because it's getting kind of sloppy now. So make sure you're with them.
Yes.
You think they don't need you, but they do need you. They need you to show where exactly to come in on that upbeat. The sopranos need that because they're a little bit uncertain now. Some of them are coming in on a kind of a pulse that you're showing. Some of them are a little bit later.
Yes.
So if you can help them with that, there's something else.
I was concentrated on a flower, which blooms.
Good, very good. I've forgotten the other thing I was going to say, but just if we can go back again, that would be great. Oh, I know what it is. I'm hearing, but again, forgive me if it's just of Zoom, I'm hearing ewa, ewa. I'm not hearing itwa, itwa. It washes all over you, itwa.
Itwa. It's maybe a bit too little ooh, yeah.
It's like in Dublin, again, Georg would recognize this accent. It washes all over you. You know, that would be a lazy, it washes. You wouldn't put in a T, be very lazy, but in singing, because it's really important. Itwa.
Yes.
Itwa. So there should be a little T in there.
Okay. 34.
Thank you. And can you just start again? And can the sopranos stay with you? Sopranos, I'm asking you to stay with Fabian. You're doing your own thing a little bit. Can you stay more? Thank you. Good. Sorry to be interrupting.
No problem. Yes.
Because you're all black and the background is black, it's sometimes hard for me to see your playing, but I think you're a little bit high for the ending because it's coming back to the end, so it's very calm. Mm-hmm. And high implies going on to do something. So bring it down a little bit more. And can you can you help a little bit more the important melodic lines in that last section?
Yes,
Can you
sorry.
tell me
Yep.
who they are, where they are?
Especially from 42, it's the tenor. Then in 43, female, the women, and 45 tenor again, and then soprano in the.
Good. And they need you before the bar.
Yes.
Each time they have an upbeat.
Upbeat,
So if
yes.
you can more with them, because that's the whole point. As conductors, we're ahead all the time, and our eyes and our gestures are with them to show them, I'm listening to you, I'm hoping this is going to be at the right time. Okay, it's not really that, but you know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
You're present and saying, I want to hear this. With the tenors, this is important tenors, and then if it's not enough because it wasn't enough, for example, in the third last bar, the tenors kind of disappeared. I know it's pianissimo for them, but that pianissimo is different for them, right? Because they have a melodic line, they're going to be a little bit more than everybody else. So
Yes.
let's see you supporting the melodic line in these last 5 bars.
Okay, from 40 maybe.
Yeah, sure. Lead into it. Yeah.
Sorry, from 40 I thought. 40?
With the upbeat, yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Upbeat. Makes you feel with upbeat. Sorry. Okay, my problem. With mid Auftakt with upbeat. Last time.
Sorry. And singers need to stay with you a little bit more. They're dragging a bit behind
Okay.
for that rhythm part, yeah? Yeah, I'm sorry. Actually, it's probably because you're moving now a bit more, because this is back in the slower tempo. So if you can decide before you give them that upbeat, what's that kind of 50? So so you feel it in your body, and then they'll follow you there.
Okay.
Very slow. Yes, very nice. It was almost all really good. When you looked at them in good time, when you were with them for the upbeat, that was better. It didn't really happen for the tenors going into 44. But it still came through nicely, and the ending was really nicely atmospheric, and you brought your hands down a little bit. So, because I think you'd agree, if sometimes we end something very dramatic like this and our hands like this near because it's a really big, loud passion chord, but when it's something really gentle, the very end of the piece, and pianissimo actually. And in fact, just on that, the next time you're working on it, you can work more on those dynamics to keep the singers with, like sopranos are supposed to be doing a crescendo in 43. There's a lot going on, but in that bar, everybody is coming down. And then you've got the tenors, it's strange.
Yes. Okay.
If I have to see 2 more people, I probably have to stop now, is that right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hi. Oh, more black against black. It's okay. It's okay. What's your name? Sorry? I can't hear that.
I'm so sorry, my mic's off. Hello, it's really nice to meet you. I'm Kwan.
Kwan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kwan. Where would you like to go from? Since we've gone from the beginning to the end now, would you like to go to the beginning?
Is it okay if we go from the beginning?
Yes.
We have just one question
Yeah.
about the R's. Are we supposed to roll?
Stars.
Not at all?
Ooh, it's taste. Strange.
I can't hear the.
Oh, okay.
I can't-
Okay. She did ask me that stars. Should we add an R? Like, right?
The
No.
R in general. The
Oh.
strange,
Oh, is it rolled R or not? You mean like strange?
I wouldn't roll it because of the atmosphere,
never. The whole piece.
because it will stick into the texture too much.
Stars.
Are you talking about strange or stars?
Everything I think she meant.
R's in general.
Yeah, R's in general.
Great. So Sean is Irish, I'm Irish, and we're speaking, we say stars.
Yeah.
We've an awful, horrible or, but we don't sing it like that. And we don't leave it out either, which would be the English way, stars. We don't do stars, just stars, star.
Okay, yeah.
It's not a road, star. It's strange. It's strange. No. Good. Thank you. Thank you. We'll just do a little bit on this and then we'll go on. I'm not sure about the length of stars each time. Can you decide, are you going to, like for example, star, and then it'll stop on the third beat, or do you want it to be a little bit longer? And particularly when you get over to bar 4, where it's a dotted minim, have you figured out exactly how long you want that one to be? Because that's more complicated, because obviously you have to take a breath before the next phrase. So how long would you like the singers to take for it?
I'm thinking about stars. It's strange.
So that was on the third beat, you took it off on the third beat there.
Yeah.
So that means you want a full beat of rest. Do you?
No. So 2 beat and a half. You know what I mean? Star.
Yeah, I think that would be better. And maybe say to them because it will also help you clarify.
Yeah.
This is, I would like to be stars. And the breath is on a quaver. And you'll get a nicer tone because it's a nice chord, it's a long chord. The other two have been just the 2 beats. This one is elongated. And I don't want you to necessarily do this now, but I'm just kind of throwing it at you for, again, your development to work more with the left hand in a slightly different way sometimes. You're very much molding it the same way, and it's very nice molding, and you started very nicely, very gently, but just, it's something you can think about. Well, how am I going to show this 2.5 beats to the crescendo, to the, if I asked you to not beat actually at all, but give the choir, they kind of know the pulse, and just leave out the beating and just see, even for 1 bar, what you would like to do. Your beating hand is your right hand, is it?
Yeah.
Put that away.
Okay. And
just show them and trust that they'll feel the tempo, that they won't fall asleep on the strange.
You mean show it with my face or my body
No,
somehow?
your other hand, your expressive hand, your other
Oh,
hand
okay,
is the
yeah,
hand.
yeah. Okay.
There's your beating hand and the other hand. But you can still show an upbeat, obviously, with your left hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can I just ask the choir to be more true to what she shows you? That was a much bigger it's that time. Now I blew it because I told you. But just be careful. The choir, you need to do what Kwan shows. Okay. Okay, good. We're really good until that point. That point when there's a straight. But yeah, that's very nice because your gestures are subtle, but you're showing a lot with them. So now can you bring your beating hand back in and give it the job of, I mean, I'm not talking about being metronomic or anything here, just it's got the pattern because everyone needs to know where you are. And then the left hand, let it show a little bit more what you want. But that was very nice. You showed a very subtle diminuendo on your first stars in bar 2. That was very, very nice. Okay, so just think in your head now about bar 4, the fact that you've asked for a breath on the quaver, so you show that. We're quite short the last time. Okay. Good, thank you. Just a little comment, your thumbs tend to come out from your...
Yeah. Someone used to mention that.
So
Yeah.
you know why that is?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's not...
Oh, yeah, you mean like the thumb comes out, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tension, right? Because your hand, you wouldn't normally, if you put your hand
Yeah.
sitting on a table, just like this, and it's rounded, you
Yeah.
wouldn't have it like. So just be careful with that, because that'll... These kind of things, if you're conducting a very long concert and your thumb is out like that, you're going to get pains. Or
Yeah.
just try to bring it back, to relax your hands a little bit more. I felt in 4 now, it's just a little thing and we don't need to go back over it. I think you cut that off short again on the 3rd beat. So if you just think about that chord there. 1, 2, 3. If you're thinking in your head, maybe you should think in quavers. 1 and 2 and 3 and it's, you know, to think exactly, because these kind of details can become very important with choirs, where exactly, and singers can become very fussy about it and want to know to the semi-quaver, to the semi-demi-quaver, where exactly do you want me to breathe there? Where do you want the T to be placed if it's a consonant like that on the word? And you've got an S, so where is that S going to be? It. Actually, I would love you to do that bar once with the. So can you go straight to bar 4?
Yeah. Straight bar 4. Straight on bar 4? Okay.
It's more better though. Better because my ears got the length of the chord more, but you just weren't sure. That's fine. Let's keep going. It's something you need to think about.
Yeah.
Where exactly you want them to place it. Because if you're not sure where, They're not going to be sure where, and you'll get a
Yeah.
number of different. Okay, do you want to go on to the next passage from bar 9?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Can you just do that again? Remember that we want to pick up the tempo a little bit here, yeah? So try to think in your,
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, and thank you to the lovely soloists. I think, Kwan, that sometimes you're waiting too much. I think you can take a little bit more leadership in this, because whilst conductor, it's not a dictatorship really, it isn't, and it shouldn't be. It still is going to be your interpretation. It's your leadership. So form that a mental vision of what you want and ask them for it, okay? And if something isn't right, okay, so there isn't time now to do rehearsal technique or anything, but then stop and ask for it and say, if I wasn't clear, I'll be clearer the next time. If somebody says, well, I didn't follow you, it's very easy. We make mistakes, we fix them, we improve. So I would love to see you conducting that passage there from bar 30. But thinking, I know, no, I just wanted to do one more little bit, thinking, I am leading. This is my vision of the piece. And I won't complain about anything, I promise.
Thank you.
I'd love her just to do that, even those 4 bars again. Is that okay?
Okay.
No? Push.
From bar upbeat to bar 9, right?
Up to beat to bar 13.
Bar
They
13.
push.
Okay, yeah. Good work, Kwan. Thank you. Very, very nice. Very nice. And I think for you, take more, be more courageous. I know it's weird because you've somebody who's correcting things that you're doing, but still, you are still the conductor. Only one tiny thing at the end there. Don't pick up too much the rhythm there, Okay.
or it might destabilize. But good, well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Last but not least,
Hello,
hi.
I am Ostea. Nice to
Can you
meet
say it again?
Ostea.
Ostea.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Can we take from 24?
Yes.
24.
Good. Thank you, Ostea. Thank you. Very nice. You have great big gestures. Sometimes you do really interesting gestures, and maybe I'm what you would call an economical conductor. I try to only do what I need to do. So just make sure that everything you show, there's a reason for it. There's a reason that one hand is there and the other hand is here, that it fits into your vision of the piece. But it's very nice and very open, and the choir is giving you a great big sound. I would say, again, this is too slow. We have to be careful because we have the opening section and the closing section that are at 50, and then the middle at 60. And while I don't think you should stick rigorously to metronome markings and know exactly what they are, you still have to have that contrast. So this section is, once you have the good to feel that, and then it's back at tempo. So if you think of what 60 is, something like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Closer to 60. So just go again back to it is good to feel then.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know it's the word indulgent again. I suppose when we take slow passages even slower, but we really want to get everything out of them because they're glorious. But just again to think of that contrast. Okay, can you go back again to it is good?
Yes. Here, do you know what means to feel in love? In this place, I want you to understand what it feels to love and hug and how amazing this emotion is. Here, yeah? 24. Yes. In these trioles, and also from 29, this whole system, it still should be not like fortissimo, but feel the love, more sound, and also burn like that. Don't really much do accents, burn like that, okay? More connected, yes.
Do you want to just do that bar?
Yeah.
Go straight to the bar per 31.
Straight.
And then connect. And Ostea, when you connect, can you bring everything back? Because it's like the first key of the piece was pianissimo, right? The very first note of the piece. So this is piano, but it's still piano. It's not, you're quite big for that. So it wa and then show the crescendo.
Okay.
Yeah? So back to 31.
31.
Good, thank you. I just have a question for you, and it kind of relates to earlier passages as well. Who do you think is more important in that chord, the washes chord? Do you think the first soprano or the second soprano?
Both, but second also very important.
Yeah, a very diplomatic answer. Yes, because it's basically G is the foundation, and so the C is a color. The C and the F sharp are colors, you know? And so sometimes that soprano is sticking out a little bit too much. So just listen to it and make sure that it doesn't overdo the crescendo. And that was good. I felt your forte piano was a little bit understated there. It was a little bit too gentle. Because you go directly, it's been this very big passage. And he says, it's still where it is. Like, you don't suddenly jump from fortissimo to forte. It's still that same volume, but then it's straight back to piano.
I'm very afraid to do sun very aggressively, because sun is sun. There's no
But the
aggression.
sun in this poem is burning, because burns like the sun. No, the stars don't burn like the sun. So I think from that context, I think that's why he's written this strong chord. But I don't think that means it has to be ugly at all. I just mean that, go more, just a little bit more. The first time you were stronger on the fortepiano. If you can go back, 31.
31. And legato, legato.
Good, thank you. Can you just do that again and stay with your sopranos a bit more, because they're not really tidy there, so they need you to help them a little bit more. And in case, I don't know, because my ears, as I say, are through Zoom, it sounds to me like it's getting very loud. But I could be wrong. So if you can monitor that with your ears and only show it to mezzo forte, only allow it to go to mezzo forte there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I understand. And here, sopranos, imagine someone is hugging you, love hugs you, and you have this, you know, it washes you with love. So much love here, everywhere. From 33. Together. Love. And sodium. One more time. I think it's still too loud. One more time.
Can I just ask you one question there? It's possibly where my camera is placed in the room, but it does sound to me like your breath is quite loud. It sounds quite loud, and if it shouldn't be, a proper breath is not loud, it's just letting air in. So just in case that you might be contributing to.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yes,
one more.
this one.
I'm sorry. One more thing. I think sopranos need more help. The wah, where to place the sh's of washes. Wah. Help them with that, because they're untidy on it. Yeah.
Maybe we can take from 36 with that beat. Or no?
Yeah.
No. Yeah?
Yeah. No, that's
36
good. Yeah.
with that beat.
So sorry to be clear. You're going to help them. They need you on the third beat, or they won't know where to play.
Yes.
Wash as.
Yes.
Just the first soprano. Just, can we do that again?
Yeah. Yes. 36 with that beat.
Do it again.
Yes,
Can you do it
again.
again? Because it was quite loud on the wall for some reason.
Even more slow.
Thank you. Ostea, you have a really lovely legato motion. It's very gentle, and when you didn't breathe loudly, they sang so beautifully softly for you. This last section, a little bit like Fabian, you need to have the solo lines a little bit more, like not solos, but you know, the tenor and the soprano, because sometimes your motions are so beautifully legato that they're untidy because they're not 100% sure. Can you do that passage one more time and really think about them? Everybody else is fine. And think about the tenors, the sopranos, the tenors, the sopranos, yeah?
From bar 42 with a beat?
Yes, please.
42 with a beat?
Perfect, yeah.
And one more time? Hey, can you give the tone one more time?
Yes, beautiful ending. Beautiful ending. Thank you, Ostea. Well done.
Bernie, thank you so much. Big applause for Bernie Sherlock. Thank you. Hope to see you live next year.
Yes, okay, bye, Georg. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.